We're live. Welcome, welcome, family, to the Empower Hour. I'm Alkamar.
Hanifa.
And we're coming to you live as we always do, Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Zoom via Facebook. And tonight's show is going to be all about cryptocurrency, Bitcoins for dummies, the future of money. What does it look like moving out of the monetary dollar system into a digital world as it relates to money? And we could not have a better expert to come and share with us more than Crypto Rick right here on the Empower Hour with us. How you doing, beloved?
And I'm doing lovely. I'm doing awesome. I hope you guys are doing well. What an honor to be on the Empower Hour, man.
I don't know how long. I don't know how it took so long.
It's been a while.
Yeah, right. To get you on, we move in the same circles.
It's okay.
And, I saw you the other day. I said, don't you go nowhere because you always moving. You moving faster than your feet can take you. I'll be like, wait, don't leave this room without me talking to you first. Because I know you stay busy and ripping it right.
I mean, it's an honor to be on the show, man. I feel like you haven't made it unless you want to Empower Hour. So I guess it's just my time.
Well, if you guys don't know Crypto Rick, also known as Ricardo Hamilton, he is the expert, one of the go-to persons as it relates to cryptocurrency and all about that world and digital money and just wealth building in general. And so he's blessing us this evening to do a crash course, a 1-hour crash course on all about cryptocurrency and what we need to know. So we're talking Bitcoin for dummies, Ricardo. So you talking to elementary school folk like me who need to know all the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and what we need to be up on game.
Yeah.
So tell them a little bit about you, what you do, and so those who aren't familiar with you at all.
Yeah, definitely. So once again, obviously Ricardo Hamilton, but I specialize in financial literacy and wealth building, particularly with precious metals and cryptocurrency. After 2008, a lot of people were adversely affected. I have family members who, lost their job or half of their 401k. Housing prices went down. People who pretty much played by the rules were adversely affected by something that had nothing to do with them, but by bad players on Wall Street who ended up getting bailed out. And, throughout my conscious journey, I always knew that the Federal Reserve was not a part of the government, and it was a private bank, and that they print the United States dollar, and we have to pay for that. And then we have to pay for that interest. But I found out that the dollar had value because it was backed by gold and silver, and when you wake up to what money is versus currency, that's when you start to build wealth and do what the wealthy do, because the wealthy use the tax code to build wealth. They don't pay taxes. They know how to properly have businesses that allow them to have write-offs and deductions. They don't save in cash. Cash, the dollar is a depreciating liability. It continues to lose value every year, and the prices of goods and services continue to rise. So they know how to take the cash and exchange it for assets, that will give them a return that have greater value later on. So what I always wanted to do was I always wanted to help people and provide real value to people. Mm-hmm. And I didn't just want to sell them anything. I could have got my Series 6 or 26. I used to sell life and health insurance. But I wanted to give something that was inflation proof, that was market crash proof, that was always going to have value. And that was gold and silver. Gold and silver have always had value, has value in Africa, Asia, Europe, America. It's been money since the times of Egypt. It's what gave the dollar its value. And but the world is changing. The world, the economy is evolving. I play video games, and I remember Madden from '98. 2000 Madden. And you look at the television, or you look at technology. You just look at how the world is advancing. Look at our phones. It was a little flip phone. You had a little Nokia, and now we got the computers right there on your phone. You know, everything has evolved except the monetary system. We were using paper money still. You know, people weren't taught about money in school. Well, now the monetary system is evolving to where cryptocurrency is the people's money, as Robert Kiyosaki would put it. Cryptocurrency is the people's money. And, you know, it's not going anywhere. It is the future. It is the present. And I like to look at it like how when credit cards came on the scene, there was at one point in time, there was only cash and checks. You know, people balanced their checkbook. They only had cash. And then they came out with Visa and debit cards and MasterCards. And not everybody adopted it. Not everybody liked it. They didn't trust it digital. They didn't want no plastic in their wallet. They was like, nah, I'll stick with my cash and checks.
So true.
And yeah, but today, everybody has plastic in their wallet. You know, there's no avoiding it. Everybody has plastic. So it's the same thing with cryptocurrency today. Cryptocurrency is relatively new. A lot of people don't understand it. Maybe they don't even like it, but it's where the world is going. And if you don't adjust to the economic changes, you end up getting left behind. You won't be passing on wealth. You won't be changing, you know, your financial future if you don't adjust to the economy. And so, you know, I like to say that if you didn't come from a wealthy family, all right, this is the opportunity to make sure that a wealthy family comes from you. You know, we're in a wealth transfer right now. We're in a transitory period in the global economy where for those who know what to do with the paper, while it has value, will create wealth for themselves, and not only for themselves, but for future generations to come.
Beautiful, beautiful. What should people be doing right now in this current state? What would your advice be for folks?
First things first, you're going to want to have a home-based business. The reason you're going to want to have a home-based business is because you need a way to avoid taxes properly. You need a way to have write-offs and deductions because the taxes are coming. Now, if you listen to Joe Biden, he'll say, we're only going to tax the rich, $400,000 and up. But the rich don't pay taxes, okay? Because they're just going to pass on the increase to the consumer. So when you go to the grocery store, when you buy their product or use their services, you notice the price rose. Well, hey, because taxes rose. They're just going to offset it to the poor and the middle class. And we're the ones who are going to bear the brunt of the taxes. So you're going to want to have a home-based business where you can reduce your tax exposure, where you can have some legitimate write-offs and deductions. So you're paying less in taxes because that's what the wealthy do, right? The second thing I would say you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have cash flow. You know, I would have said assets first, but if you only have assets, it's just a matter of time before you liquidate those assets because you don't have no cash, right? And the whole idea is to have assets so you can hold on to them. So they build wealth for you so you can leverage them. So you want to have a business that's creating cash flow for you, right? You know, cash flow is king. And then once you have cash flow, then you definitely want to acquire the assets. You want to acquire the precious metals and the crypto because they are the answer to, you know, the dollar, to the devaluation of the dollar, the inflation in the economy. You know, it's the one way to have your money grow for you without exposing it to a lot of risk. Okay, the stock market is at all-time highs during a pandemic, during a collapsed economy. Unemployment numbers, you know, 800, 900,000 every single week. You know, the jobs are not coming back, but yet the stock market is at all-time highs. Well, it's rigged. It's rigged, and it's just a matter of time before it collapses. You know, before the correction comes, right? And so, you know, if you don't want to put your savings at risk, right? And so there's three components to your savings. There's your savings, there's your 401k, and then there's Social Security. Well, we can't rely on Social Security. I mean, most people know that already. You're not going to rely on Social Security. So you can kick that off the three-legged stool, okay? And then you're talking about your 401k. Well, most people's 401k is tied to the market, all right? So that's risky, right? The market crashes every 10 years or so. And then the dollars continue to lose value and they're just printing it up, all right? And then the third one is your savings. But most people are saving in cash. So therefore they're losing because the inflation rate is higher than any interest that they'll be gaining on the cash, right? So you don't want to save in cash. So now is how do I properly save? Well, you're going to want to save in assets like physical gold and you want to acquire cryptocurrency and you want to have a home-based business that's creating cash flow.
Let's talk a little bit about the inflation rate for those who break down for us, what is inflation?
Yeah, it's just, the more currency that they print, the less value it becomes, right? And so it's like supply and demand. They're printing, they just did what? I think it was 1.8 trillion. They're going to do another stimulus bill. They got to do another infrastructure bill. So all these dollars are just being created. Well, what gives them value, right? What gives them value? They're just printing this piece of paper. So the more paper that they create, the more prices of goods and services are going to rise, right? So that's why they actually took the dollar off the gold standard, if you ask me, is because they wanted to be able to continue to pay for wars, okay, to promote government spending programs where they didn't have the money, they can just borrow the paper. But if the paper was tied to a physical asset like gold or silver, they wouldn't have been able to just create so much dollars because they had to have a real asset behind the dollar to give it value, right? So inflation is the rise in prices of goods and services and the loss in purchasing power of the dollar.
And break down for us to break the they. When you say they, explain to people who these people really are, because a lot of us have this notion, this preconceived notion that the government is in control of the Federal Reserve and who makes the inflation prices and things like that, that the American government is in power and control over that. But break down to us what this monetary system and who's running it.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, fortunately and unfortunately, the government gets the blame for everything, even though there are factions and different groups within the government that are doing something, and it's not necessarily government. Like if you say the CIA did something, but that doesn't mean necessarily the government did it, right? But the central bank, the Federal Reserve, right, is a private banking cartel. They look out for their own interest in their shareholders. Their interest is not the American people. And so they print the dollar, right, at interest, right? And so every dollar that's in circulation, the more money they print, that's more debt that we have to pay back, okay? And then on top of that, they add interest onto it. The interest never existed in the first place. So that means you have to borrow more just to pay the interest, because the only way we get the cash is from the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve, if you ask me, is public enemy number one. Okay, every problem that we have, it stems from the monetary system. Whether we're talking about poverty, whether we're talking about crime, whether we're talking about the maldistribution of wealth, everything starts with the monetary system. That's the base of all the problems. I don't care, what problem we're talking about. They want to divide us between gays and straights and black and white and everything else. But when you get down to the core root of it and what's funding the division, what's funding the confusion, what's funding this and that, you realize it goes back to the Federal Reserve and the corporations that grow up around them. So, the Federal Reserve is not our friend. The Federal Reserve, if anything, they're our enemy, right? Because of their monetary policy. Their monetary policy ensures that savers are losers. Their monetary policy ensures that the dollar that people are relying on continues to lose value because they continue to print more of it. And then the Federal Reserve is a private bank, so you can't audit them. They're not beholden to the government. They're outside the government. If you want to know who runs the country, it's the Federal Reserve. It was J.P. Morgan that said, I don't care who makes the laws as long as you allow me to control the nation's currency. And I paraphrase it. But they understand that it don't matter who you vote for. It matters who controls the purse strings, who creates the money. That's what matters. And so the Federal Reserve is in my opinion, public enemy number one.
So in the beginning, you were talking, you mentioned that I think you were saying stocks, and you mentioned it being rigged. Was I clear on hearing that?
Well, yeah, the stock market is rigged. It's always been rigged.
Can you explain that, please? Because right now, that's like a hot topic right now. Everyone is being encouraged to, invest in stocks and so forth. So when you say rigged, exactly what are you talking about?
So when I say rigged, is that a lot of these, so we had a pandemic, the economy is in crisis, right? People are being laid off. The velocity of money has, slowed down, dried up. And so what are they doing to keep the price of these stocks up? Right? If the stock is supposed to be based off the company and their performance and their projections and things of this nature, Well, what's keeping the price of the market, skyrocketing? It's the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is printing trillions of dollars, and they're bailing out banks. They're bailing out corporations. They're bailing out other countries and institutions. All right. And the banks are buying back their stocks. They're buying back their stocks. The corporations are buying back their stocks. So the market is artificially propped up. Mm-hmm. It's artificial. It's not real. The average person is not in the market. So it's rigged in a sense that it's not real. It's not real. There's no real price discovery at this moment for any of these stocks or assets because of the manipulation that the Federal Reserve and quite frankly the government too has done with their monetary policy. So right now, it's opportunity maybe to get in, but the problem is when you're trying to get out. It's just like 2008. Oh, you crazy to talk about the housing market in 2008 or prior to then, because it was an A+ or AAA rated market, the bonds in the housing market, right? Until it wasn't. Mm-hmm. Everybody was optimistic until it wasn't. And then you're buying right now, and you don't know when everybody's going to start selling, and you better hope that you got a buyer, right? When you're trying to sell, right? So if you don't want to play with the risk and speculation that goes into the market, not knowing when it'll bottom out, because it can't go up forever. It has to come down, and we're in the longest expansion period in history. So there's gains and there's opportunities. I'm not saying don't get into the market, because somebody who's up, 300% in the market right now is going to say he's crazy. He don't know what he's talking about. Okay. But I'm not talking about for the short-term gain. I'm talking about the long-term play. I'm talking about not even playing that game and exposing yourself to that type of risk. I'm talking about there's a better way to actually have your money grow for you without speculating into risk while being in position for the new monetary system. Because you don't want to be sitting on dollars. And by the time most people wake up and realize that I probably should have took some of my money out of all these speculative stocks and put it into gold and silver and crypto, the value of those assets would be much higher. You're going to get less of it. The dollar's going to buy you less of it. So you want to get silver right now while it's massively undervalued. They're rigging the price down. I mean, it's crazy. They're rigging the price of gold and silver so much. They want it to be so unattractive, okay? But smart people are waking up and realizing that you want to be where everybody isn't, okay? Mm-hmm. And then when everybody gets there, that's when you want to sell, right? So you want to get the gold and silver, and then the cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is booming right now. It's the new money. Banks are getting into it. In fact, Visa is now, allowing payments in crypto and accepting crypto. I mean, it's mass adoption is here, okay? And it's for those who get these coins and get these assets while the price is low, that's going to experience the most from the wealth transfer.
Mm-hmm. Now, talk about what is holding this monetary dollar system up right now, the whole consumer confidence. What is the consumer confidence?
So say that first part one more time.
I said, what is actually currently propping this dollar up? Is it the consumer confidence? And if so, what is that?
Well, so the dollar is all around the world. It's in everything. Okay. So they're able to manipulate and rig the economy because, for one thing, they control the world reserve currency, right? And so since it's everywhere, it's like a big ship, like the Titanic, right? The Titanic can't just make a sharp turn. So people are like, oh, when is this collapse supposed to happen? When is this supposed to happen? That's supposed to happen. Well, it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that you want to prepare for. But when you look at the numbers, like if you go to usdebtclock.org, I don't know if we can share screen, pull that up, but you'll see every nation is in debt, okay? They're public debt, external debt, and they're in debt greater than their GDP, their gross domestic product, right? So, I mean, yes, part of it is a confidence game. People believe that the dollar has value, but why do people believe that the dollar has value? Well, because after World War II, Bretton Woods got set up, and they set up the dollar to be the world reserve currency. The only reason that they allowed the dollar to be the world reserve currency was because it was backed by gold and silver. If the dollar was not backed by gold and silver, the world would have never accepted the United States dollar as the world reserve currency, because it's just fiat. It's just a piece of paper. So the world now has accepted this paper, and everybody's holding on to this paper. So it would disrupt everybody's economy if they just decided, because there's so much business and transaction that's done in a dollar, you can't just get rid of it. But what countries like the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and other countries, they're de-dollarizing. Right now, countries around the world are dumping dollars, they're dumping the bonds, they're buying gold, they're looking at cryptocurrency. The shift is happening. And so right now, the Federal Reserve and the central banks are, making transitions for that. And that's why they're talking about central bank digital currencies, and they're trying to get ahead of the change. All right. But it's really a confidence game. And what's happening is people are losing confidence in the dollar. And once that's done, that's it. And that's why you want to be into hard assets. That's why you want to be in the cryptocurrency, in that inevitable event, which is already taking place, where people they're losing faith in the dollar, and they're realizing the dollar is buying them less over time. Mm-hmm. Especially with the government printing trillions of dollars every single year out of nowhere.
Right. And they got to fight to even get a basic minimum wage increase. So that's a sign too, in and of itself.
Yeah, they don't want the standard of living for the average person to increase during this transition. They already think there's too many people. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the same people who think there's too many people are now telling you that you need to take a vaccine. Right. We all know that the system is rigged in the sense that the poor and the middle class are not having it easy to get ahead. They talk about the wealth gap, right? The 1%, the wealthier, they're continuing to get wealthy, and the poor and middle class continue to get poor. That's not by accident. That's that's by design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, cryptocurrency. So who is in control of this new digital money?
I would say that the people are. It's the people who use it. It's the nodes, the holders, the people who are mining. Okay, the cryptocurrency, the people who are using the cryptocurrency. We're in control. That's why cryptocurrency is decentralized. There's no central authority. There's no one institution, no one group, no one company or person that dictates the value or the advancements of the blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. So it's a decentralized thing, and that's where the power comes from, because obviously we can see that governments and central banks, policy is not for the people. They're there to help out themselves and their special interest, mm-hmm. right? They're the ones who are benefiting the most, not the average person. So cryptocurrency, it takes away that power from them and gives it back to the people. So where they have a centralized currency with the Federal Reserve, they can fund wars like going into Iraq, and say that there was weapons of mass destruction and there were none, mm-hmm. but yet they killed millions of people and spent, trillions of dollars or whatever have you, right? But if there was, a central digital currency or even gold and silver, it's less likely for them to get away with this type of things.
Is that how the whole GameStop situation worked? How did that work out? Now, give us a breakdown of how that was even capable. Is it because there is no people rigging the system and telling you how high it can go up, or the pause the system before it crashes and things like that?
Yeah. So a lot of institutions and the wealthy, they might be over leveraged in one trade or one play. And so the people in Reddit or Wall Street Bets, they realized that they were, massively short, okay, on GameStop. Mm-hmm. So they played the other side of it and drove the price up, which means that I can't remember the name.
Who drove the price up?
The institutional investors, as they call them, but it was the people in Reddit. They have money. They say, "Hey, I like this stock. I like GameStop. Everybody, let's go buy GameStop." So the value of the shares of the GameStop goes up. But on the other side, there was these institutions that invested or speculated that the value of it would go down. Well, they were wrong because the price was going up. So they had to cover their shorts. They had to cover their bets. They had to cover the other side of the trade. So they were losing money. So they kept driving the price up. People kept driving the price up. This company is hemorrhaging, millions of dollars because they were on the wrong side of the trade. So that was more so to show the power of the people. That was more so to show that if we all got behind something and we all decided to, because it's really us that have the power, it's just that we're so disenfranchised. We're just, over here, over there, look here, don't look there. We're so divided, and that's what they do, divide and conquer, that we never come together with our resources with one agenda, just one agenda. Well, the Reddit community pulled their resources together with one agenda and drove the price of GameStop to, over $300 per share when it was, they were crashing. It was going to be worthless, bankrupt company.
Start getting the word out.
Ricardo, Ricardo, so this is Bitcoin for dummies, right?
Yes.
I was about to say bummies. I don't even know. Sorry. So there are some people, when you talk about cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, there's like some distrust there. I think it has a lot to do with it not being, they could go to their banks and withdraw cash, something tangible, What is Bitcoin backed by, and why are we so absolutely sure that that's the future of money?
Well, we're already in a digital money anyway. When you open up your phone and you look at your bank account, you see digits. They're just numbers, In fact, when you go to the bank, all right, and let's say you had a significant amount, or not even that, let's just say enough people go to one bank and say, hey, I want my cash. The bank doesn't have it. They don't have it. All money is digital. In fact, all the money that is around that you see, whether, national debt or just all the money in circulation, only 3% of it exists. There's only 3% of the money in circulation that's in physical. The rest is all digital. So we already have digital money. It's just that we had centralized digital money that was controlled, by a few groups of people, right? Now, the digital money that we have now with blockchain technology is something that, everybody has a stake in. Whoever has a computer, whoever's, mining, whoever uses, the blockchain and cryptocurrencies, we all have a stake in that, and it's the encryption, it's the security, because, nobody can hack the blockchain, right? It can't be hacked, right? But there are times where people's bank accounts or credit card companies, they get it hacked, your information's out there, fraud happens all the time. These things are less likely and mitigated because of the blockchain technology. As long as nobody gets your private keys, your passphrase, right? Nobody can, hack into your account and take your assets, right? So we already on a digital money. Most people don't carry cash. Most people either swiping their card or checking their balance online.
Cash app.
Cash app. That's digital.
Yes.
Right. But it's just not on the blockchain technology. It doesn't have the benefits and the features that we have dealing with, crypto. So crypto is the future. And another reason it's the future because there has to be, the dollar's going away. There's no escaping that. The world is de-dollarizing. The dollar's going to continue to lose value. They're continuing to print trillions of dollars, bailing out banks and corporations. The dollar's going to continue to lose value. So it's assets like gold and silver and crypto that are going to continue to rise in value because people who hold dollars are looking for yield. They're looking for their money to increase. Well, it's not in the bond market because they rigged the bond market down to where there's no yield, 0% interest rates, right? That's why they got the stock market up, but that's risky, but when even now gold and silver, they're rigging it down, but understand there's a difference between value and price. The value of these assets are, way higher than the price. And that's where you want to get it, when the price is low, when the value is high. Same thing with crypto. The value of cryptocurrency, even now, if you're just getting into crypto, it's not too late. Okay, it's not too late at all, because when you're looking at the housing market cap and you're looking at the stock market cap, and it's hundreds of millions of billions and trillions of dollars, cryptocurrency just hit $1 trillion in market cap, a little over $1 trillion. almost 2 trillion. There's still a lot of fiat money out there and paper, and we're starting to see the wealthy and institutions and the common person now get into crypto.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. So let's go in that direction. Okay. So the average person, the average Joe, at this point, like if you try to invest in Bitcoin, I'm sure it has now gone up, right? So you might have some people that feel like I don't have the money to invest in Bitcoin. I don't have the money to invest in stocks of any sort. What do you say to those people? Is that true? And if it's not, let's talk about some ways that they can get in on this.
Yeah, it's not true. You know, when somebody wants something, ain't nothing gonna stop them. I don't care who they are. You know, if you really want something, you're gonna get it done to get what you want. You're gonna make certain sacrifices, especially if you got some feeling or emotion behind it, you're gonna get it done, right? And, you know, so whether you got to cut back on the coffee, cut back on the cigarettes, if you understand the severity of the situation and the opportunity that you have to change your life financially forever, you're going to make sacrifices. You got to make sacrifices, right? But with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, you could buy $1 worth of Bitcoin right now. You could buy 50 cents worth of Bitcoin. You could buy $10 worth of Bitcoin. What I would tell somebody who don't feel like they got a lot of money, dollar cost average in. Every time you get paid, put $5 in Bitcoin. Put $10 in Bitcoin. Okay? The Bitcoin is going higher. All right? So you're better off exchanging the $5 or the $10 and for a little bit of Bitcoin than having no Bitcoin. You know, same thing with gold and silver. If you're in 7K, if you know what we're doing with the Sound Money wallet, okay, why not get $1 worth of silver? Why not get $1 worth of gold, right? And allow that account to adjust to the value of gold and silver until you have a whole ounce or so, and you can hold on to the physical if you like. But dollar cost average in, you don't have to have 50,000, 60,000 to get a whole Bitcoin. You can get fractions of it. It's called a Satoshi. You know, hold on to some Satoshis until you're able to get a Bitcoin if you can.
Right. If you guys are just tuning in, you are watching the Empower Hour, and we're talking to Crypto Rick, talking about Bitcoin for Dummies, a full 1-hour crash course on the 101s on investing in Bitcoins. What do you tell people like me who invested in Bitcoin like several years ago and now can't find my account number?
Yeah, that's the only potential downside to, you know, cryptocurrency is that you have to be responsible. You are now you gotta be an adult about your money and your passcodes and your passphrases. You can't call up. You can't call. No, we didn't know back then. You know, you said a few years ago. Most people didn't understand. They just bought it, right? Yeah, but I mean, you are now, you know, in control of your money and your finance. There is no 1-800. Hey, I forgot my passphrase. You know, you gotta be, you know, responsible. You wanna put it in a safe. You want to store your cryptos on a ledger. You know. And one thing is that, you know, I think people don't utilize YouTube University enough. Okay, like anything that you want to know, any question or even a concern, right? Type it in the YouTube and you'll get a plethora, okay, of answers and responses to help you get to the next step in your journey of understanding where you are in this world and how to better yourself.
Yeah, funny you said that, because I did click on the YouTube to find out if I could recover my password. And I got a little bit of assistance.
Yeah, yeah. It's millions of dollars, if not billions, that are lost from people who just lost their private key. I mean, I know a few people who just say they'd already be, you know, multimillionaires right now if they just didn't lose. They put it somewhere and they can't remember where they put it.
That's me.
And they sick. Because almost millionaire.
Well, the only thing I have got going that gives me peace of mind is that it wasn't a whole lot of money. It wasn't. It was less than $100. So
I don't know. You know what time you got it, because let's say if it was $100 and Bitcoin was a penny, right? And you got and obviously that's, you know, not the number, but that means you got 100 Bitcoins right now. 100 Bitcoins at 50,000.
Oh, don't tell me
a lot of money.
Okay, I was still living my illusion.
Well, maybe I should have told you that
Right.
because that might make you feel
Right.
some type of way now.
Right. So what prevents Bitcoin for doing the same thing as the dollar, which is like the bulk of it going into the hands of a small few? So how is that possible? Now, what if some big wig, wealthy, rich people decide, hey, I want to own a 75% slice of all the Bitcoin in throughout the world. So I'm going to buy them up right now, and I'm going to have access to the vast majority of Bitcoin. Is that possible?
Well, I will say institutions are definitely spending millions of dollars buying up Bitcoins right now. I mean, central banks, institutions, a lot of people get into it. And the thing about digital currencies is that they have a certain amount. So unlike the dollar, where they could just print as many dollars as they want, there's only 21 million Bitcoins.
Right.
Right. There's a certain amount of them. Right. And so that keeps the inflation, in check. Now, but most people, who are getting into crypto now, they hear about Dogecoin, and they hear, Elon Musk and, all these people who will promote Dogecoin, which is actually, inflationary. They can just create more particular coins. But that's one of the benefits of cryptocurrency, the limited supply, the set amount, it can't be changed, right? The decentralized nature, the open source of it, of being able to see, what's going on, see the code, because like I mentioned before, the Federal Reserve, you can't audit them. Right. There is no telling how bad the situation really is. It's really worse than we realize. I mean, when you look at the derivatives market, and if you look at the global debt, the global debt is like 4 times global GDP. I mean, the whole world is literally drowning in debt and paper debt at this moment.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a day of reckoning, but there's also an opportunity on the other side of that, because just like when the market crashes, money doesn't disappear. It just changes hands. It went to somebody.
Right.
Right. So it's the same thing with all this paper and this debt that's created in this present monetary system. That paper is going to go into, assets like gold and silver and crypto, which is going to drive up the value of them.
Family, share this stream with everybody you know. Please give us a thumbs up button too, and let us know what is there anything that intimidates you about this whole Bitcoin scenario? If so, shoot it out in the stream. Shoot your questions out. We do have a few of them here. I remember Ron Paul some time ago. He led the charge in attempting to audit the Federal Reserve. And I don't think he got far because, they pushed back hard. He wanted to know where was okay, if it's if the dollar's backed by the gold standard, let's audit and see how much gold is held in these Fort Knox for the Federal Reserve Bank. And they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. So he pretty much concluded that, what are you hiding? What do you got to hide then? Because they don't have enough gold to cover all this dollars that's out in circulation.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it's a dog and pony show, because they'll bring up a Federal Reserve chairman before Congress as if they actually have to adhere to the president or Congress. The Federal Reserve does not have to do anything that the president or Congress tells them to do.
That's right.
Okay. So people think that the Federal Reserve has to adhere to the government. That's a dog and pony show, almost like the election. Okay. They're selected. It's money that put Obama into place. It's money that put all the politicians in place. And it starts with the top 10 banks, the JP Morgan, the Goldman Sachs. They're funding them. And if you're running for office, and these are people who paid to get you in office, you're going to be beholden to them more so than the vote of the people, because they made the money equal vote. They made corporations people. But they'll never tell people to really help them understand that. They'll just tell you, go out and vote, and they'll bring a Federal Reserve chairman before Congress and make it look like they're being grilled by our elected officials when really they have no power.
Right.
So I see 2 questions that I want to jump on real quickly. I'm just going to combine them. So one person asked about, in your opinion, what are the best cryptocurrencies to invest in right now? And then the second question is, do you think investing in Bitcoin through Cash App is a good idea?
And that's Toya and who else?
Jonathan.
Jonathan and Toya. Thank you for your questions.
So Cash App is fine. It's better than Coinbase, if you ask me.
Really?
But the best place, because nobody in the crypto space like to deal with Coinbase because of the centralized nature of it and then working with the government and different things. But crypto.com, crypto.com is a place that I recommend, where people buy their Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So crypto.com, I don't buy Bitcoin anymore through Cash App or not PayPal, Coinbase.
Why not? Why not Cash App?
Well, it's still a centralized, it's they're centralized system, but they're less friendly to what we're trying to do. You can get it through Cash App. Don't get me wrong, because what I've done is I'll get some Bitcoin through Cash App, and then I'll move it somewhere else, right? I'll move it to my own wallet. I'll move it, somewhere else and buy another cryptocurrency. But personally, if you really want to get into cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, crypto.com is so much better in their features and in their resources. And how they actually allow you to maneuver, especially because they also give you a Visa card. You can actually get a Visa card where you can spend your crypto. You can put your crypto on the card and swipe that Visa card and spend it like you're spending your fiat out your bank account. And as far as I'm in a lot of different cryptocurrencies, and of course, I'm not a financial advisor. All right, I don't have a Series 6, Series 26. I'm not a tax advisor or anything like that. So let's get that out of the way, right? We talk about advice, but obviously, you're gonna want to hold the major ones. They're like the grandfather of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. You're gonna want to have some Bitcoins, especially Ethereum. If you go to CoinMarketCap, you'll see the top 100 coins. So a lot of people hold different coins. Some people believe in XRP, even though it's under investigation, and the future of XRP is not as clear. One coin that, as the runners, we have been recommending since it was at $2 and now it's at almost $14, was Theta. Theta token.
Spell that.
THETA.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Why do you recommend Theta?
Well, so because of a lot of time when you're looking at cryptocurrency, you don't want to get caught up in the hype. THETA. Yeah. You don't want to look at the hype, right? You want to look at who's behind it. How many developers are behind it? What are they actually providing? Are they providing something to a close-knit community, or are they providing something for the world to use? You know what I mean? That other institutions can actually utilize off of their technology or their blockchain. And so when you look at companies like Theta, one of the co-founders of YouTube has come over there. What they're doing with the technology, with the internet, and allowing the broadband to be used when it's not in use from other people's computers. And they're like the YouTube, okay, on the blockchain, right? So when you look at Theta and its use case, because that's what it comes down to, the use case, right? So that's one of those projects that we're very, very bullish on, that has been performing very well. But there are a lot of different coins. A lot of people, I would say, diversify, but you can't go wrong with holding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and either somewhere in the top 100. So if you go to CoinMarketCap, you look at top 100, and what I would say do is, because when most people say advice or like what coin should I get, they don't plan on doing any research. They don't really understand what they're getting into, and so I don't want to give advice in that sense. I want you to look at the different projects and see what they're doing, because even with stocks, they tell you invest in things that you use. If you use Crest, invest in Crest, right? If you buy Nikes, invest in Nikes, right? If you're going to get into the cryptocurrency space, look at the particular projects and look, what are they doing? And look at the track record and see who is with them. Check where they've been in the past and where they're going.
Now there is talk about a little bit about how you mentioned that you could get your crypto in a credit card format. So talk about that for those who don't know. Like, you can spend cryptocurrency like cash, correct?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can spend crypto the same way you spending today anything with a Visa card. So in crypto, that's why I recommend crypto.com. So crypto.com will give you a metal card, a Visa card, and you can get their coin as well and stake their coin and what have you. And you'll see that as you go to crypto.com and you take your time and read it and whatnot. But yes, you can put fiat onto that card. You can put crypto onto that card, and you can swipe it, anywhere Visa is accepted. There are some people who are, totally, living straight off of crypto, because it's such a big space when you start to talk about, decentralized finance, yield farmings, liquidity staking, pools. I mean, there's a lot into it, almost like in the banking system, where we're talking about derivatives, we're talking about options, we're talking about futures, we're talking about, different ways to get into the stock market. There's a lot of different ways to get into crypto and have yield and profit from.
So when you're buying cryptocurrency, I mean, what are you buying into? Like, say, for instance, you buying a stock of Nike. Now, if you're buying, coins in crypto, what is the value? I mean, what's holding the value? If that makes it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing like with a stock. I mean, it's the use case. It's what is it doing? Like right now, if you go to Theta TV, you'll see that I think it's World Poker. They got NASA on there. They're actually streaming on their platform, on their decentralized, blockchain, their platform. So who's using it? What is its role? The technology and how disruptive is it in industry? I mean, one thing about cryptocurrency that people really need to probably look at first to get a real value of cryptocurrency is blockchain technology. See, people talk about crypto, but they don't understand enough about blockchain. It's blockchain that's really revolutionizing the world and changing the way the world will operate. Cryptocurrency is a byproduct of the blockchain.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really the blockchain technology. And when you're looking at all these different coins, it's the different blockchains and the use cases and what they're doing with their project that'll give it value. So like there's some coins out there that there's a company, GSX, and they got a coin that they're backing by gold. I mean, it's a payment system and digital on a blockchain, but each coin will be redeemable for physical gold. I mean, there's a lot of different projects out there, and it's almost like it was like penny stocks at one point, but I mean, it seemed like everything is up over $1 now at this point. We're really in a boom right now. But it's like, you're acquiring something when it's undervalued, and they'll continue to grow on that project, and the value of the coin will reflect on their progress and development. But it's blockchain technology that people really, really need to understand.
How does someone go about investing in gold or silver? Because I know we're talking like about the Bitcoin and stuff. How would someone go about beginning to invest in gold and silver?
Yeah. And that's a good question, because not everybody's gonna like the digital. No matter what you say, they're like, look, I want to hold my money. I want to feel my money. I want something I know is valuable. I'm not into this thing. So that's why, I diversify, and we tell people get, especially, silver. Silver is actually the most undervalued asset on the planet. You want to get more silver than you have gold at this
point.
You think
that will change?
Silver being the most undervalued asset on the planet?
Yeah, you think that would eventually change to where it would?
No, silver's use is greater now and tomorrow than it's ever been, because we're moving in a technological era. So silver is not just a monetary thing. It's used in over 10,000 applications. It's why we're able to communicate right now.
Okay.
It's in solar panels. I mean, it's in space equipment. I mean, it's in healthcare. Colloidal silver. It's in clothing. I mean, it's in industry. So it's a metal that has an industrial use and now is coming back as a monetary use. But throughout the decades, they have, just trashed silver. It's just been, they've just been abusing it and misusing it. So there's not a lot of it around. There's not a lot of silver above ground. There's more gold above ground that's stored, but there's less silver today. And so you want to hold something that's undervalued. there's not a lot of it and the value of it is going higher. So you want more physical silver than you want gold. Okay, that's the first thing. And the best place that I would say to get physical gold and silver is with a company that we're using and leveraging. Is called 7K Metals. And the reason I would say that is because they're not only going to help you get gold and silver bullion, but they're going to diversify you into the highest asset class of gold and silver, which is numismatic coins. Numismatic coins are like beautiful pieces of artwork on gold and silver that are rare and flawless in their condition under 5 times magnification. So they're also like collector's pieces. They have a greater value than just it being gold and silver. And then, so with 7K Metals, not only are you getting the gold and silver, okay, but you're also getting that business. Remember we first started talking about the first thing somebody want to do is have a business? Well, 7K Metals gives you a home-based business where you're able to reduce your tax exposure, right, and have some write-offs and deductions. The second thing it does is create cash flow for you because it's a home-based business where we get paid to save. So as people are saving their money in these assets, that puts us in position to create a weekly income, right? And then of course, obviously, it's a membership with that company. So there's a lot of benefits to it. And one of the benefits I'll say really quick is the Sound Money wallet. So think about Cash App, think about PayPal, think about your checking and savings account. Imagine if there was a button where you can convert any dollar amount, $1, $10, 1,000, doesn't matter. Imagine if you can convert any amount of that to silver or gold at the press of a button, okay? And what happens is the dollar amount in that account will adjust to the value of gold and silver on the market. So over time, you'll realize that you have more than what you put in there because the value of the asset went up. But let's say you want to sell the gold or silver, right? You say, all right, I need the cash. Just press the button and the cash will be moved right back into your account. But let's say you're like me, you want to hold on to the physical. The Sound Money wallet is 100% backed by physical gold and silver, all right? And the vaults that are holding the gold and silver are 100% insured by Lloyd's of London. So if you want the physical delivery of the gold or silver, you can get it because the company doesn't sell you any gold or silver they don't have in their physical possession. So when I place a delivery request for my 1 ounce of gold, it got to my house within a week because they have it on hand and they deliver it via FedEx. Okay. And one other thing is that you can send gold, silver, or cash from one member who has a Sound Money wallet to the next for free, no cost, no transaction fee. So 7K Metals by far, in my opinion, is the best place to get gold, silver, and diversify and numismatic coins.
So Toya had asked, she was always told to move, I'm assuming she means Bitcoin, move it to a wallet like Atomic Wallet.
Yeah, it's different wallets that you could put your crypto in. There's actually wallets where you can get loans on your crypto. I've been utilizing a wallet where I put my crypto in there and I can get up to 60% on a loan. And my crypto is a collateral. And, I leverage that to make more money while my asset is still sitting in the wallet and gaining interest. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways, but you definitely want to move your crypto into something like that, either like a Celsius or Nexo, and you can stake your crypto in those wallets. And if you want to take out a loan, you could take out a loan on the value of your crypto up to 60%, and then use that money. Most likely, you should use it to invest further and build more, build up your portfolio.
Now, I'm around people on a regular who use the cryptocurrency platforms like day trading. Like they move in and out of the trade. So they, they up, and they buy low. And then when they get high, they sell and they go back in. It's just like a stock market scenario.
Yeah, we leverage that as well. So we actually have a company called Copy Pro Traders. So we have professional traders that trade cryptocurrency. So they'll go from, say, USDT, which is the cryptocurrency version of the dollar, and they'll go into Bitcoin or Ethereum or, ADA or something, right? And they'll just go through different cryptos and they'll, get you some profits on the daily profit, 1%, 3%. But the beauty of it is that you don't have to learn how to trade. You don't have to be a professional trader. You don't need to look at signals and know when to buy and sell. What happens is you set up the account, you fund the cryptocurrency account with whatever amount of dollars, USDT, that you have. And then what happens is the trader will make trades through your account. but you keep 100% of the profits and 100% control of the account. So you don't worry about, well, what if they take my crypto? There's no liability in that sense because you control the account and you control your money. The only thing that the trader is allowed to do is use the API keys to make the trades for you. So they'll be making trades in your account. You're gone for a week and you look in your account and you will notice, a difference in the nominal value of the money in your account. So yeah, I mean, people are trading in cryptocurrency. And
so now how does these people earn their work? Are they,
it's a membership.
Okay.
It's a membership. So you pay $99 in Bitcoin a month and you put the money in the account. You will activate the trading. The trader makes trades, daily trades on the account for you, the professional trader. And like I said, you keep 100% control and 100% of the profits because they already got paid from the membership. So you're keeping all the money and you ain't got to worry about, oh, let me log in and let me press this and do that. No, once you activate it and set it, that's it. You don't do anything else.
So what's their success rate?
I mean, I like to say, I tell people like this, compound interest is phenomenal. Okay. Like if I offered you $1 million cash right now, or I decided to give you a penny that doubles every single day for 30 days, what would you choose? Right. Well, most people would choose the $1 million cash, right? But not knowing the power of compound interest, the penny that doubles every single day for 31 days is actually over $10 million. So in that sense, this is what the trading is about. If you can get 1% on $1,000, every single day, and you compound that, and you take your profit and put it back with your principal, and then you get at least 1% or 2% on that day, and you keep doing that, right? Well, at the end of a year, you're a millionaire, right? So the results vary, but generally I'm looking at 1, 3, sometimes higher. It depends on what's going on in the market. But what I can say is since we have been utilizing this company, people are very excited and happy about it. We're continuing to grow. More people are signing up. People are realizing their portfolio is gaining, and we just got some phenomenal traders that just came on the team, some brothers. And I mean, we just lighting this thing up here, helping people leverage these systems and build wealth and cash flow.
Yeah, that sounds like something I need because I've been like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and never get around to it.
I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, like I said, you pay the membership, you set up the account, you fund the account, activate trading, and let the professional do everything. And you look back at your account a month later or a week later, and you could track it. You'll see the history of it and everything. You'll see the gains. You'll see what trades they made, and anytime you want to pull out, you pull out. It's not like oh, you have to leave it in there or you have to, no, none of that. You're 100% control.
Yeah, that sounds like right up my alley. And we only got a couple of minutes left, and we definitely want to get around to more of how they can get in touch with you, how they can, you can assist them, and if they want to jump into Bitcoins and all that. But I do have this one other question, if Hanifa doesn't have any more, about the mystique behind the whole founder of Bitcoin. What's your theory about who this individual is?
Yeah, so if you ask me, I think the NSA created it. I think the NSA created it, and they just put it out there. And
now, what do you mean NSA?
National Security Agency, NSA.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought about that, but go ahead. Why do you say that though? I'm curious.
I mean, just because of what they do and their computing power and working with supercomputers, and they write topics on this stuff. And I mean, nobody really knows. They say Satoshi Nakamoto and whatnot. It could be some alien technology. I mean, who knows? But the thing is that it's here, and it's not going nowhere. And so maybe one day we'll find out how it really came about. But at this moment, it's just a lot of speculation.
Okay, honey, if you had any other additional questions?
No, I was over here taking notes actually.
So, Crypto Rick, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, definitely. So, man, I had to redo my YouTube channel. I had over 6,000 subscribers. Wow. They shut me down because, the censorship is real. They don't want people to get access to a lot of information. You know what I mean? But They tried to say my content, same content I shared with you tonight, they tried to say it was harmful and dangerous. So I had over 6,000 subscribers, just, canceled my channel, 2 years in my journey. But I have another channel up. So Ricardo Hamilton on YouTube, obviously Ricardo Hamilton on Facebook. And I think most people watching this on Facebook, you can join us at The Runners. So The Runners, we got a Facebook group called The Runners. All right. And, we plug in a lot of information there. And very soon I will have a text marketing campaign. So I'll put a number out there and I'll keep people up to date on what's going on through a text marketing campaign. But right now, mainly through Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Okay, and they just look for your logo in the back, right?
Yeah, you'll see my face. You'll see my face on all. Yeah, right. If you go to YouTube and you type in Ricardo Hamilton, you'll see my face clear as day. But also, you might see the runners, and we got our merch, and we started 7K Metals. The company with gold and silver and that Sound Money wallet, and 6 months, we have over 7,000 people in the company that we brought in with our team. People making thousands of dollars a week. Lives have just been changed. We're the fastest growing team, breaking records, and just having a lot of fun, helping a lot of people. And so now we got merch, therunners.shop. therunners.shop, we got merch, and we're continuing to change lives and families, one person at a time, one family at a time.
That's what's up, Ricardo. You shine. You seem to do that anywhere you go, though. You break records and stand out. So good for you. And thank you so much for always sewing back into the community. I know you to be a stand-up kind of man, and I know you to be a man down for the people. And so, yeah, and I appreciate that. There's so many of us that get to a position where you are, and, they done, later, peace out for the rest of you. But you steadily, every time I see you, you pulling back, you pulling down and reaching back and pulling up. So we definitely appreciate you for that.
Yeah, thank you. That's what gets me excited, because, a lot of people are offering information and they're promoting a product, maybe their book or service. I get excited about what I do because we're actually plugging people into systems where they're creating cash flow, where they're having a business and they're acquiring assets, gold, silver, and crypto. And, there's a lot of people, who need help. And so the more people we help, the whatever you want, you help more people. The more people you help, the more you get what you want.
Yeah. The more of us get help, the stronger we all become.
Yeah. Exactly. I say it all the time on my show a lot that, if all of us are getting wealthy, when we come together and it's time for us to, buy back that block or that city or that town, we should have the wealth. We should have the assets. We should have the digital currency or cash flow or wherewithal to do it. But it's only if we're aware of these opportunities. It's only if we're acquiring these assets while they're massively undervalued, will we be able to come together and actually do something. Al-Kamal, Hanifa, y'all should be able to write the check for Umar. He said he went to school. Y'all should be like, I love this brother. Go ahead, write the check. We should be in that position. But it's just that we weren't taught about money. They told us to go to school. They told us to trade our time for money. They didn't teach us about business, reducing our tax exposure, cash flow, residual passive income. And that's why we find ourselves in the position that we are right now. But this is why I always say, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, this is the opportunity to make sure that a wealthy family comes from you.
Ashe. Well, that's a brilliant way to end the whole discussion right there. All right, family. Please, again, we just ask that you share, like our page, the Empower Hour Talk Show. Hanifa and I come to you each and every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with impactful topics just like tonight, discussions that affect our everyday lives, things that we can take and build from. So that's our goal here on the Empower Hour. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you in advance for sharing, and we'll see you next week. Thanks again, Crypto Rick.
All right, no problem. My pleasure. Honor to be here. We got to do it again.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace and love.